harsh given the genetic sequence.
Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi ji, Chairman Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Mr. Bill Gates, distinguished scientists and researchers from across the globe. India is indeed privileged to be a co-host to the Grand Challenges Annual Meeting 2020. I am sure that this meeting shall accelerate the progress towards finding solutions for this pandemic as well as ensuring long-term improvements over health systems. I am equally sure that this will facilitate greater collaboration among scientists and decision makers to discover and develop better and safer solutions for humanity. Ladies and gentlemen, the pandemic has provoked a public health crisis without precedent in living memory. The large-scale loss of life, the severe human suffering, and the major economic crisis will burden our societies for years to come. It has highlighted more than ever before the need for national and global solidarity. Global collaboration is paramount. Therapeutics, diagnostics, and vaccines for the whole world is the only way out. Governments, industry, and philanthropy must pool resources to pay for the risk, the research, manufacturing, and distribution, but with the condition that the rewards should be available to everyone, regardless of where they have been developed. We need to also focus on creating effective health systems for improved pandemic preparedness. Now that we are on the threshold of a vaccine for COVID-19, this is the time to ensure that access to diagnostics, therapeutics, and vaccines is fair and equitable. Inspired by our visionary Prime Minister, India has braced up for quality manufacturing and will continue to play its role through our Make in India and Make for the World endeavor, and will support fully the development of research and digital capabilities for managing the delivery. India will continue playing a key role in fostering bilateral and regional partnerships. Under our Prime Minister's able and visionary leadership, India is moving to help the world as an expression of solidarity, because we believe that health is a human right and not a privilege. Ladies and gentlemen, I close my speech with loud applause for all those across the world who are at the forefront of this battle against a deadly virus. I salute the heroes who lost their lives. Let us pledge to ensure that their descendants will not accost a similar fate. I thank you for giving me this privilege to address this august audience. Thank you.
Health response to the global response.
Thank you, Mark. I think this has been a journey for more than 9 months now. And the most important thing that excites me is the fact that virtually everyone in India, starting from the medical professionals to the frontline workers, to the scientists, to the innovators, to the industry experts, to the businesses, and of course the societal people like NGOs, everybody rose to the occasion without wasting even a single day. And the whole country stood along with Prime Minister Narendra Modi. One of the most exciting thing was that most of the things in the initial stages we were finding shortages, we were importing, whether it was the testing kits, whether it was the PPE kits or the N95 masks or the ventilators. But everyone, the scientists, engineers, everyone rose to the occasion, and most of these things we are now in a position to export. We started with just one lab, and we were importing all these kits from outside. Today, when I talk to you after 9 months, we have 1962 labs spread across each and every district of India. And in the initial stages, everyone used to embarrass us by saying that you are doing only a few thousand tests. Today in India, in a country of 1.35 billion people, every day we are doing something between 1 and 1.5 billion tests. We have already done over 97 million tests in the whole country. And on virtually every front, we have been able to create good quality infrastructure with over 2 million beds in our COVID dedicated facilities, thousands of quarantine centers, and the whole country, the scientists, the laboratories, whether it was their mandate or not, they were doing virtually everything. They were isolating the virus, they were doing the genome sequencing, they were working for vaccine development, they were supporting the startups, they were supporting the young innovators, they were working on drug discovery, they were working on repurposing of drugs, and it was a whole government, whole society approach. And finally, I would say the most exciting thing happened on 22nd of March in India. The Prime Minister had in his mind a strategy to announce a complete lockdown for the country. And just about 2 days before that, he appealed to the countrymen with an innovative idea of his that we should all participate in a Janta curfew, self-imposed curfew, when we will not move out of our homes. And at 5 o'clock in the evening, everybody in the country will come out of the house and just felicitate the medical professionals and the health workers. And not even one single home in the whole country was an exception. The whole country stood like a rock to make that Janta curfew a success, and that is why it was followed by a lockdown. There are so many exciting moments of this journey, although we feel sad that there are so many of our frontline workers, our COVID warriors, whom we have lost. We always feel sorry for them. But I think it has been a great fight, jointly organized and under the leadership of our Prime Minister. Everybody rose to the occasion. I think it was very, very exciting for me as the Health Minister of India. Thank you, Mark. You see, right now, as far as managing COVID is concerned, the whole country has learnt quite a bit about it. And we are trying to manage as well as possible, and we hope to be able to control the transmission of the disease in a very, very significant manner in the coming months. Right now, our simultaneous focus has been, of course, with involvement of everybody, whether it is the public sector or the private sector or the corporate world, everybody is involved. And we are now ensuring that we are planning for activities that we have to actually do after a couple of months. On the vaccine front, you know that we have always been on the forefront on the issues of vaccine, whether it is supply of vaccines or the manufacturing of vaccines, and 70% of the vaccines we are trying to, over the years, trying to help the poor and the middle income countries through either help of Gavi or through the UNICEF, etc. Right now, our focus on one hand has been to ensure that the whole of scientific community is supporting and encouraging and getting involved with the industry and the relevant stakeholders in developing the vaccine. We have at the moment 30 vaccine candidates which are in various phases, and these vaccine candidates are all, most of them are supported by our science ministries, particularly biotechnology also. 3 candidates are in the indigenous candidates are either in the advanced phase 2 of the trials, or one is in the advanced phase 3 trials. We are simultaneously, although we are expecting that the vaccine we should be able to get by the end of this year or maybe early next year, but there is an exhaustive planning going on. This is in response to Kiran Majumdar Shah ji also, who apprehended that probably the country may be not focusing on the rural India. We are focusing on each and every part of India, and already we have developed a master plan for ensuring that the delivery of the vaccines to the last person, that is ensured with, of course, the cold chain management. We have already eradicated polio. We have already a very robust universal immunization program in which we give 12 vaccines to every child in the country. And right now, we have also developed an electronic portal where everything around the vaccine, starting from its manufacturing, storage, to its delivery to the last person. Along with this, there is already a online training activity which has been planned for exhaustively for the workers who are supposed to be giving these vaccines. So virtually on every front, we have made adequate preparations, and this all is happening with everybody's support. We are in touch with the international organizations. We are in touch with the solidarity programs happening at the international level with WHO and of course all the international organizations, and we are very confident, howsoever big our country may be, but as we have been able to tackle COVID pandemic in the last 9 months, in the next 9 months or so, our rough estimate is that by June, July, we should be able to procure 400 to 500 million doses of vaccine and give them to almost 20 to 25 crore people in India. We have already prioritized who are the people who have to receive the vaccine first, whether it is the health worker or the frontline worker or those with comorbidities, and the lists are also being prepared. The state governments have also been brought on board. So it's a very exhaustive, very meticulous, very pragmatic and very solid exercise that is already happening in India. The Prime Minister is personally monitoring it. There is an expert group which is personally monitoring and getting into the nitty-gritty of each and every aspect of it. And I can assure the whole world that our thinking is very clear, that the technology could be local, but the science has to be universal. And whatever is the outcome of our scientific research, it will be shared with everyone all across the world. We feel that the global world is one family, and when we are working something in India, you know that during the peak of the epidemic, we supported over 150 countries with hydroxychloroquine. We supplied them to these countries, and even now we are in a position to supply many things to the other countries, including vaccines. So we are confident that India will certainly be able to show some very progressive path to the rest of the world also, and we assure you that we will not let you down on any account.